Welcome back, everyone, to Essentials TF, the Physgun Fireside Denver 2025 group stage. Should be R4, round 4 here. We have Lake Fairy Crew versus Witness Gaming EU. And beside me here on the virtual couch, we have good old Lucky. How are we?
Wonderful, Freaky. I'm doing great. We just witnessed some really bad TF2, so I'm excited to watch some good TF2. This land so far seems to be shaping up pretty sweet in terms of what we've got. For those of you that have only just joined us here on the stream, we've got some Australian players in NA, we've got some EU players in NA, and we've obviously got NA players in NA. So an all-round good land by the sounds of it. Lots of very interesting matches. Speaking of interesting matches, we've got Witness EU versus Lakeside or Lake Ferry Crew, whatever they're called, in this game. How are you feeling about the game, Freaky, in general?
Look, obviously after seeing, I had to wake up. It's currently about 7 a.m., but I had to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch
Wow.
the game in Australia versus Froyo. I had to be there. It's like the moon landing for us. But yeah, great game so far. Incredible. Obviously, we took our one beating Froyo, taking that to the grave, but incredible games, incredible cast. Couldn't be happier with. It's just such a good time here at this LAN or this stream, wherever you want to call it, but it's been such a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I mean, as an Aussie, how long have you guys been wanting to have that Froyo matchup? Has it been a long time coming, or has it been sort of like...
It's been 84 years, whatever that old lady said about the Titanic. But yeah, it has been far too long, and we finally showed up, and we finally realized that, could be the curse broken, but here we go, we are started.
Well, look at this game. We're on to product, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Winners EU going to be heading in, as well as Lake Crew, and looks like we're heading into our first mid, to take it away.
Exactly, first mid, but not the last. Tomas trying to play, which he does. He plays on that edge, on top of pocket, and the soldier bombs around. Grape Juice trying to bomb for auto, does take him to full HP, takes the pack flip, then goes deadly seeding Carl again. The sniper off blast here from Hugo. Very dominated, but respect, Trip does get two shot by Ixie, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, me and Wandom had this conversation before this game. Yeah, Tomas going in, getting a whole bunch of kills, lovely stuff, gets the medic. But me and Wandom were talking about it before this game. There's not the map that you really, if you are, one of these NA teams that isn't G6 or isn't Froyo or isn't Witness Gaming AU, you do not want to play product against these guys. They will off-cast sniper and they will destroy you with it. So, again, you go on the sniper there instead of Ixie. Interesting choice. We've got soldiers bombing in, and it looks like Manny is going to go down, but being Pappy, that is. As Grip Juice gets annihilated in the door as well. Uber advantage for Auto. They're just going to back up to this point. Play nice and chill. Hugo on the sniper, so the longer the red team take, the more heads they're going to lose. So this is kind of the playstyle that they play with, but they've got a very controlled, easy, process-driven playstyle on product as well, so going to make it tough for this red team to do anything here as they're making their way onto concrete. Uber is used nice and early. Lucas Tank going to be pushing all the way in. Soldier trying to get him behind. Going to get just cleaned up here by the looks of things as they push the Zubat nice and deep. They're going to get the medic as well. Demoman comes bombing in, does absolutely nothing, and they're going to try and get Auto out there. It looks like they will succeed.
Exactly, succeed in keeping their meta alive here. Trip and Deadly Seed just respawning with the Pyro. Oh, never mind. Oh, they swap back. Oh, never mind. They swap back. A little bit of change rules, some Aussies would say, but Deadly Seed's still in the Pyro. They're going to break out fast. Now, I want to see how Witness, especially Manny, maybe high bombs here, maybe Hugo gets a pick. Actually, they full on hold S here. Luca and Pixie just still in that high ground here. Manny just going to spam and increases damage a minute long there. Going to be a minute and 15 left on this cap.
Ooh, this is a disaster. And it eats a ball very early on, goes down to half health, and they have to halt what they're doing. The Soldier also getting headshot there and lower, so he's got to go back as well. But the game plan here from Witness Gaming every time is if they get out that door, you just hold S, walk back, take the high ground, spam down on them, slow them down, take time off this clock. What you'll notice here, Freaky, is that, oh, the Uber does get forced out in the meantime, but what you'll notice is that the clock has been already driven down to 46 seconds. All these little plays that are being made from Witness Gaming are meaning that this clock is just driving down. Red Uber even comes out here from the Force, and they don't do anything at all with it. Lucas Tank's still the respawner, he's in the queue for a little while, so this red team here just barreling up on Cliff, seeing what they can do. Blue team's getting nice and healed up. Witness Gaming just going to stay on that high ground. Cower gets absolutely destroyed. They're just going to use this Hugo sniper here. He has free reign, barely being pressured. Deadly Seed goes in, takes a ton of damage. He dies. It looks like Pappy also going down here, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Red Captain does go through, but they've just blasted themselves. They're going to have really long respawns here. There's not a lot they can do against this cap that's going to come in from Witness Gaming. Back to the drawing board, and are barely going to have 20 seconds off the clock.
Hugo. 15 seconds later, Hugo's almost killing off Hannah there. They're going to play bottom clip. Thank you, Barry. I got a drop from. Oh, a drop from Hugo onto Grave. Deadly Seed. Dive in the traps. Can't we're dead. This is looking not good. 2 solids down on Lake Fairy. Overtime for Witness Gaming. And that is going to be a round. A very comfortable take it.
Yeah, if you want to take that cap as red team, what you need to realize is if you take that cap, you're going to end up with longer respawners. So they take the cap because they're desperate and panicking, and they just shoot themselves in the foot directly and end up with all their spawners being absolutely delayed. Blue team realize this, head in with their better spawners, retake the cap, Hugo with some nice headshots, easy 1-0 to start things off, and not even close on the clock by the looks of things. Witness Gaming in a commanding position for this game.
Exactly, commanding as Hugo is on Cliff, sniping down on the Fairy's concrete. Still, the point is going to be up to 3 seconds here. Kawa on the Cliff here, they're going to push on Fairy to flank, kills off Manning here, but Hugo still is quarter HP. Let's get first a look at here, but I'm looking at Kawa on off. Dixie's on it, and Hana just gets sniped by the Hugo off glass. Still on Cliff, they know he's going to go for him here. What a shot onto Carl, but there's the arrow from Auto onto Pen if he's tripped dead. Then he takes out the sniper off glass, and he also takes out the demo. Lucas does get finally found by...
Yeah, what you should see here is that they're going to cap this one up. They're standing on it. They're going to wait until Lucas spawns. That's the intelligent thing to do, and now they're going to cap. So, like I mentioned before, they wanted to delay that cap so they get their spawners. And just using Hugo there, playing in a very defensive position, making sure their sniper is fully protected while they overextend into the blue position. Just getting absolutely mowed down. Now they've got to walk into the fortress that is this blue hole, taking a ton of damage already. Auto has his Uber. Hannah walking out to the point and dying to that headshot very early on means they've got an Uber distance. So now they have to wait the time down for Hannah to get this Uber. And even though they have this Uber, they're going to have to walk into this sniper sightline somewhere or another. So you can expect an early use out of Hannah if they don't get anything. But it looks like they're just going to go for a sack wave here by the looks of things. Barreling into Lucas Tank, they take him down. Auto does go low against the health pack. Scout Deadly Seed gets the drop, unfortunately, onto Auto. And now they're going to have to scramble. But it's just Hannah and Tripwire left alive. And you can see, irregardless of Auto dying here, they've got so much time off this clock.
Sniper's still up too. That's just how it is. That's where the cookie crumbles. But look, I'm looking at Hugo here. I'm dropping from Cliff Fairy. He's on concrete here, Hugo. And it rotates through pocket, drops him China. But still, yeah, the time is just ticking down. Finally edging that cap on that left-hand side Fairy. But Hugo finds Deadly Seed. There goes the scout. Minimal capture time. And still Kawa on the off-class Pyro pushing connector.
Oh no!
Oh, the Ubers are in.
Oh, they use Uber, but Tripwire dies immediately to the sticky trap. Cower is now going to get caught as well on this Pyro pushing through the forward spawn. He's going to be basically next to useless. So Ixie is going to probably die to the burn damage here out on Cliff. But that means nothing. They didn't get the cap or anything. Hugo's still at large here, surviving the entire time. And what's fascinating is that Hannah has this huge advantage to play with, and the blue team can get caught out, but they just do not a lot really with it. Don't even get the cap. Eventually we get Hugo on the low ground there, and now the red team in a little bit of a better position here. They're going to heal up Grape Juice. They're going to go on to this point, but Cower staying on that Pyro. An interesting off-class to say the least.
Interesting indeed, but look, 20 discs for Witness Gaming EU, but 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain on the clock here with basically half cap here. Tomas doing his role and job. He goes in for the sack. Remain, and Hannah is just back on the respawn. And Auto dying as well. Traded medics, 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. It's just going to be chaotic fight in Dogred. Tomas killing off Deadly here, but Ixie needs Trip, and Kawa gets annihilated with the lock and load. One rocket onto Trip, still in pocket. Tomas finishing them off. 3k for him.
And yeah, they are going to get this cap back. And that, well, they're not going to get the cap back. They wait for Lucas Tank for the spawner. They're just going to hold it very close to capping out, and eventually they get it in the end, and Lucas Tank is going to hit his respawn, but looks like they've swapped Hugo back onto the Soldier here, so they're going to go with cookie cutter classes for the time being and just DM it out, but Auto, even though he died during that Uber exchange, they're still even Ubers, so things nice and even here. They're going to relax and do what they can. They're just spamming down onto these players. Got all the space in the world for Lucas Tank at the front of that point, but they lose 3 here, including the Pyro getting a frag there. No Ubers currently in place, so the blue team are going to have to back off here in a deadly situation for them.
Deadly Seed, it's going to be a 2v1, Trip and Deadly onto Tomas. That gets him, and Auto does die with the Trip push as well. Point. Converting back to Fairy, a minute and 42. Yeah, Ixie dying with the afterburn on the point. Ixie dying. It's going to be a little bit of a foothold here from Fairy. A nice change of breath and pace that they need for Tomas on his main Pyro.
Yep, and the red Uber does get force as well, which is great if you're the blue team here. That's everything that they need out of this. They don't need anything else. Auto's going to be building his Uber in the spawn, so this is fantastic stuff. I mean, this Pyro did no benefits for them there. He didn't stop the soldiers from getting in because he was air blasting the blue Pyro, so it doesn't stop Pappy from getting in behind, which is causing chaos on Cliff, making so much space. He's drawn back both scouts. So it's free reign for the blue team to get in here, who's just going to batter down this Pyro. And they're going to walk all the way in. They start getting some cap time down, just edging the side of that left-hand side point, and there's no real pressure coming in there. Lucas Tank does get piped down, unfortunately, from the lock and load. We're seeing the value of that. A nice rocket from Hugo. Takes out Grape Juice as well. So all of these small things going in favor of Witness Gaming. They get this Uber charge ready to go, and they could barrel this cross point. Hannah is currently out of position. They start walking up with the beam just onto the cap, also taking a ton of damage, and now uses out the Uber, as they're going to start barreling in towards Cliff and see if they can get this medic, but Tomas, unfortunately, whiffing a few shots, gets the sword out, starts swinging, and gets the force.
Does get the force, drops off with Cliff. It's going to be a post Uber in Dogbred, but Trip is still in Tomas. They basically switch sides, both teams. Does die for it a bit. Ixie almost finding, does get flamed on Con, and it's going to be a chaotic fight on this point. Poor old Auto has to heal Manny here on the point, but Hugo is holding it on his own on the enemy's grass. Rotates onto China. 3 seconds left on this point, but it's 75% capped. Hugo's into the spoon, and it just gets the 65 damage, and overtime here. Time is ticking down for the Witness EU, but Manny is in onto Pride Rock, damages them off, but the point capture time is just minimal. It's still overtime here. Tomas still edging it with Ixie, and it's only half cap now, but Confetti does die. No Pyro, no demo. As soon as they cap this Grape Juice,
you'll notice as well, they don't want to cap this point because they don't want to delay that one spawner. Even though they are now on 0 time, they want to get the spawners, and they wait, they get the spawners in, and now they're at a player advantage. Hannah gets killed, the Uber comes out, and now it's lights out for the red team as they get this through. And once again, Witness just with the intelligent play, showing the power of just delaying that capture.
Exactly. Waiting for the respawns, reinforcing that fight. Incredible gameplay from them. But hey, look, I hate to say it, but the Pyro was kind of working, deflecting the spam, you know, controlling those scouts on the point, you know. A little bit of change of pace, rather than the default scout, soldier. But yeah, next mid. Why don't you take away this song?
As we head into the mid-fight, Lucas Tank just getting lots of damage down early on, stripping the overheals. Both red soldiers destroyed. Pappy goes in for a huge bomb, tons of damage there as he eventually gets cleaned up, but the red team are on last legs. Just Cower remaining. He's going to get run down by Tomas. Absolute wipe, caught on the low ground, and not a lot they can do. First capture goes through, forward hold goes up, and they're going to make it very difficult now for the red team to get in. Auto with a massive advantage, so just being chilling.
Yeah, that's what it is. Been chilling here, but with full ad, and the Pyro is yet out again. Let's see how they push out of the grass.
I'm seeing a Pappy special here. You'll notice that he's on Battalion's backup already, which has been banned in Europe for reasons. But the Battalion's backup being a very powerful tool and great to have in a spam situation, so he's going to be picking that one up. knowing that he's going to be spamming a lot in this current situation as the blue team are holding them off. So, you know, getting that banner built, doing what they can. Hugo's going in for a spoon, lands onto the demo, gets that kill, and they get a scout to boot. So, once again, driving the clock down a little bit further.
Exactly. Keep on driving it down. That's all that matters. 2 minutes 4 remain. The full hold still into effect here. Lucas gets flamed on Cliff. But Manny, yeah, I'm looking at that very shortly. Looks like Fairy's going to push out a Cliff. Going to run at the demo a little bit. Try to scare him off. The Pyro's in. Hugo's from behind. Kills off Trip. That's going to be a major flank here. Hannah is forced to use to not drop the team. Going to be post Uber on Fairy's Cliff. Hugo is still behind, trades it off. That's a 2 kills in his lifetime there, but still, Witness EU still have the point and full ad.
I'm hearing a detonator and quickie bomb wombo combo here against Lucas Stank. Just trying to stop him from laying any traps, really, by the sounds of it, and just trying to get tons of damage down. But Cow's going to be walking out on this point. Detonator jumps into the combo, and they get the kill onto Auto there. Pretty incredible stuff as he drops Uber somehow. Unsure how that happens, but Hannah's going to have an advantage on the back of it. But how much does it really mean in the grand scheme of things? I mean, there's this French medic called Moula. I don't know if you know about him, but he came up with this theory, basically, that if you are a medic and you are defending the point, honestly, it doesn't really matter how often you die if you've got this amount of time advantage. So, happy to drop that Uber. When the banner comes out, they start rolling things over. And looks like they are going to just start cleaning up on the red team here, get a bunch of frags onto Lucas Tank and Auto, the 2 key frags, but the collapse is coming in onto Hannah, who's going to get caught out here. Nice little surf there, but Pappy going in for the follow-up, gets the kill onto the red medic. Now it doesn't matter whatsoever that Auto has died, because they still have the cap, and they have the red medic frag.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a really good theory. I like that. Yeah, I've never heard of that, but sounds incredible. It's actually pretty good.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah. 6 seconds left. Witness Gaming EU still holding strong. Defending that point, Hugo pushing the flank just to clear off the concrete. Tripwire dead with the stickies. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a 3-0 Witness EU takes. If you call it product, you call it product, but in reality, it's Viaduct.
That's it. It's over. Product 3. Oh, look, never mind.
But
we're on NA rule set. It's Jova.
Oh, it's first to 4, is it? Oh, is it
I don't know why it's first to 4. Maybe
but
this is a NA, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. We EU chads and AU chads. We don't know this. So we head into another mid fight.
Another mid fight. Another round down at Manny and Hugo are in. Kills off Benefi. And that is Grape Juice dead. And the Hannah meleeing Mego. And Hugo dying with the trip. And it's going to be basically 10 ad, 10 disad, depending on what team you want. But no solis on Witness Gaming. And nice reflect onto Carlo. Almost reflected the medic onto the medic there. Holy guacamole. Still, Witness Gaming takes the cap. Time is ticking. Even Ubers.
Everyone's just relaxing now. Out on this point, on a few of the blue team at least. The red team are panicking, trying to stop this inevitable sort of onslaught that's going to happen to them as they start building up. Both teams have Uber, chilling out, trying to get some rig cap time down as he starts walking at the point, going for a trade here. Lucas Tank looks like he's going to get caught, but Auto hitting him with the Uber, so that's nice and fine. So red team going to start getting their position in place. Kawa up on the Pyro once again. Grape Juice dies on the flank there. Hugo is going to take a 2v1 with Ixie against Deadly Seed, who retreats back as Tripwire also trying to help him out, but he also gets pushed back. Hugo just surviving for the longest time is making some space in his flank, which allows the combo to just walk forwards, take all the space in the world, and now they're going to retain this point. 1 minute already off this clock here.
Yeah, if you blink, the time goes. You gotta enact some sort of plan. But it's like almost 10-15 ad here for Fairy, but they're losing their flank as we go. They trade off Hugo and Grave. Knows one solely down here. Manny's in main, does find the Pyro. Nice reflect from Calvo. Lucas trying to hide from the Pyro, but Tomas finds him. There goes Carwa, the off-class, but again, 2 down still. One Solly's going to respawn from EU, but still, Witness still at the point. 125 remain. 75% capped here for Fairy. And it's basically just about to be evens. Order was out from the to go and pick up a health back from bottom of cliff. It looks like a trade is very imminent.
Yep, as they're walking in, red team actually uses first on this. Thomas barrels in, kills off Kawa very quickly. And they're going to start moving back here into the point. And Ixie's going to get nice and healed up. And they're just going to get this recapture through. No deaths on their side, no need to delay this cap. And they're just going to barrel forwards now. Bomb coming in from Pappy as he's going to take all that high ground jump back, just creating space for his team to get some traps set up and get their scout on the high ground and just chillax where they are. And red team are finding it very difficult. I mean, this pyro is not doing a lot of work. Interesting to see how much damage you'll have at the end of this game. But Kawa gonna get bomb. Pappy in behind gets a nice 2 rocket onto that pyro. We've got Grape Juice trying to get on the flank against Ixie. Absolutely not. It just gets double meat shot and dies. Trip by dice with lock and load pipe as well. And just dying absolutely everywhere here. 42 seconds remaining. The saving grace is that Hannah gets out alive, and they're going to have an Uber charge to play with, but they've got to try and break this forward hold.
This forward hold is not going to look good with 30 seconds remain. Plus, you have to trade the Ubers. This is really not looking in the favor of Fairy immediately, with the Pyro dying with Grape Juice as well. 4K from Tomas. But yeah, still even Ubers, 2 players down with 15 seconds remain. This is looking very, very unlucky, but Hugo's playing in that corner though. And they're out through main. Ubers are out for Fairy, but Witness Gaming only just used their Uber. 2 seconds remain. It's going to go into overtime. Maybe if they even touch the point. And that is it. 4-0 Witness Gaming. EU takes product.
Easy enough. Easy stuff. Very quickly, everyone disconnected from the server. Everyone slapped GG in the chat. Everyone off to go and get lunch by the looks of things. But, you know, it's just showing intelligence from the side of the Witness EU gaming players. I mean, just putting things together one by one, just taking time off the clock, really showing all of their strategies on this. I think if you're Froyotech or any Witness Gaming AU players here, or, you know, even G6 potentially in a playoff sort of bracket, in any kind of best of 3. If you look at this game and you see product and you watch what they do, you'll get a very good understanding that they play a very methodical play style. No overextensions, no real, you know, special plays, just playing very cookie cutter, apart from the sniper every now and again. But very solid gaming from Witness EU, and I don't think that, you know, Lake Ferry crew had anything really to show against this. They were underprepared for the force that was Witness Gaming EU, and that's really all I have to say about that. It's a very strong showing from Witness EU on this map.
Yeah, exactly. You could almost think like they're preparing for playoffs, maybe, especially with the sniper off class, you know, just just making sure that the enemy team, you know, doesn't go through X space, so that they know the solis can only, the Witness solis can actually like enable that sniper, maybe pencil the medic up, or maybe pencil the demo up, etc., etc. You know, we could see this in playoffs, and yet again, I just want to echo what you said, playing methodically, yeah, 100%. Like, this is a team that is definitely on that board that needs to be studied, that needs to be, their demos watched. It is the team to look out for this land.
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, if you don't prepare against Witness Gaming, you know, pull out the Cadus playbook, for example, start watching the demos in between games and just really, like, scrutinize everything that happens, you're not going to really have a shot. And I think, you know, in a LAN as competitive as this, you really do need to study every element of the game, and this will be something that you have to look on, even in between games, you know, watching it on 3 times speed or something like that. I don't know how much time you have between games, but very strong showing. Excited to see the next game. Any closing remarks, Freaky, before you head over to a break?
Big shout out to the sponsors of this stream, Manco Store, and obviously the Physgun Fireside Denver LAN. Big shout out to them. And yeah, obviously, big shout out to everyone. Whoever wants it, shout out to you.
Shout out to you. Shout out to Onga. Shout out to Bad Juju. Shout out to everyone else in the chat. Have a nice evening. We'll be back very shortly for our next stage, so do not go anywhere. It's going to be a blast. See you in a bit.